black holes are points in space that are so dense they create deep gravity sinks. Beyond a certain region, not even light can escape the powerful tug of a black hole's gravity, even the human mind. Hawking took this challenge and gave us almost everything we know about black holes. He created all these crazy equations just to make sense of yet another mystery in our vast universe. Born in England on January 8, 1942, Stephen Hawking led a pretty normal childhood until he was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, or more known as ALS, around early 1963, just shy of his 21st birthday. But as the disease spread, he became less mobile and began using a wheelchair. His condition worsened in 1985 when an emergency tracheotomy caused his total loss of speech. After his loss of speech, he used a speech-generating device which was constructed at Cambridge, allowing Hawking to select his words by moving muscles in his cheek. He was also inducted into the Royal Society, a worldwide web of scientists, in 1974 and later appointed Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge 5 years later in 1979.
So, Hawking began his schooling at the Byron House School in Highgate, London. He later blamed its progressive method for his failure to learn to read while at the school. Hawking attended two independent schools for his secondary school years. First, Radlett School from September 1952 and then St. Albans School. Hawking began his university education at University College, Oxford in October 1959 at the age of 17. He found the academic work ridiculously easy. A change occurred during his second and third year when, according to Berman, his instructor, Hawking made more of an effort to be one of the boys. He developed into a popular, lively and witty college member interested in classical music and science fiction. After receiving a first-class BA degree in physics and completing a trip to Iran with a friend, he began his graduate work at Trinity Hall, Cambridge, in October 1962.
As we all know, Stephen Hawking was a renowned theoretical physicist and cosmologist. His major contributions are singularities, which was in 1970. This all begins with Einstein's theory of gravity that tells about singularities, such as points where space-time appeared to be infinitely curved. But at that time, it was unclear that whether singularities were real or not. Then, Roger Penrose proved that singularities would indeed form in black holes. Later, Stephen Hawking did path-breaking work on singularities and applied it for whole universe and told that gravitation produces singularities. He also told that Einstein's theory predicted a singularity, which was the Big Bang theory. In 1971, he discovered the laws of black hole mechanics. His first law states that the total surface area of the black hole will never get smaller. It is also known as the Hawking area theorem. Another law states that black holes were hot, but it is a contradiction of classical physics which states that black holes do not radiate heat. Next is Uhhhhhh theorem of black holes, which states that black holes can be characterized by three numbers. They are mass, angular momentum, and charge. Black holes emit radiation too, which may continue till they exhaust their energy and evaporate. This is also known as Hawking radiation. Now, what is dark matter in space? Well, this cosmic inflation theory made on 1982 was introduced by Alan Guth that in physical cosmology, it is a theory in which the universe expands exponentially soon after the Big Bang. Further, Hawking was one of the first who calculate quantum fluctuations, which means the small variations in the distribution of matter, and shows that during inflation, it might give rise to the spread of galaxies in the universe. On 1983, Stephen Hawking contributed on model of the wave function of the universe. He was interested in establishing a quantum theory of gravity. So, with James Hartle, he published a model of the Hartle-Hawking state. This theory states that time did not exist before the Big Bang explosion, and hence, the concept of the beginning of the universe is meaningless. The universe does not have any initial boundaries in time or space. In 2006, along with Thomas Hartog, he proposed a theory of top-down cosmology, which states that the universe is not one unique initial state, but consisted of a superposition of many possible initial conditions. Last but not least, he also published some books. A Brief History of Time was the famous book published on 1988. In this book, he explains about the range of subjects in cosmology, like Big Bang, black holes, light cones, etc. Several other books were also published, like The Universe in a Nutshell on 2001 and God Created the Integers, the mathematical breakthroughs that changed history on 2005.